guys to bits. Now, if you guys didn't have a fight, then Jordy, why did you leave these guys? Why did you start doing your own thing? Why are you not recording with them anymore? And that's a pretty long story, and it starts about 3 years ago when I got into a really dark time of my life. I filmed a bunch of stuff for it too. I put it on the internet, and I really underestimated all the bad mistakes that I was making, and I wasn't taking enough care of myself. I moved away from my hometown in Amsterdam. I got into a relationship way too quickly with a girl which I thought was my dream girl, but we ended up not being compatible, and at the same time my dad also passed away. Now, long story short, I ended up getting a depression, which I've never ever said anywhere publicly. I had a depression for 2, maybe even 3 years, and during this depression, everything in my entire life, I started hating. Everything became really hard to do, and all in all, I just had a really tough time. Now, every fairy tale has a good ending, so this one does too. I ended up going to therapy, I started working on myself, and as you can see right now, I'm doing fantastic. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, you see that I'm very passionate about everything in life again, that I'm waking up every day, loving every single moment of it. Well, sometimes I don't, but I try to live the best life possible. Now, during my depression, I was still recording with Jelly and Slogo, and I started to see that I was just having a really hard time keeping up with these guys. I was having a really hard time recording these videos, and I noticed that I had to put YouTube to the side a little bit so I could fully focus on my own mental health, on my own well-being, and that's what I started doing. So instead of saying, hey, I'm gonna quit YouTube and I'll be back in 2 years, I kept up YouTube because I love YouTube, and I knew I loved YouTube, even though I was sitting there sometimes hating it. I'm like, this is not right, Jordy. You love this. You're supposed to love this. How is it possible that you don't love this? And like I said, eventually I realized that it was the depression. So some of you guys don't actually know this, but these recordings with Jelly, Slogoman, and myself, or Crainer right now, they're tough, guys. They are hours long. It's a grind, and these guys work so flippin' hard. That's why I have so much respect for them, and I have respect for myself too. They're some of the hardest working YouTubers out there, and also some of the most viewed YouTubers out there. 100% deserved, but that's really hard, guys. And it's especially hard if you're suffering from a depression, you're trying to work on yourself, and you're just not in a good mental state. At the same time, I saw that my creativity was running out. I was just doing things with the group. I was going into that direction instead of doing the things why I started doing YouTube. I started doing YouTube because I wanted to make really funny videos, because I wanted to do crazy things, because I'm so ambitious and I'm out of control, and one day I'm doing this and the other day I'm doing that. I felt like when I was with the group, I was holding myself back, but I was also holding them back because I couldn't give them the energy that they needed to make these videos good. And at the same time, I was doing something which wasn't really in line where I wanted to go. I realized that I stopped growing as a person and that I just stagnated in life, and I was just doing the same thing. And all of these factors together, I thought about it for months, if not years. I slowly decided to phase out of the group. It wasn't a clear-cut, bye guys, see you tomorrow. And instead it was me joining less and fewer recordings, getting up to a point where they started recording with other guys, and that's how they stumbled upon Crainer. And I'm very happy that Crainer was such a good fit for the team, and that he was so, like, he was able to replace, I mean, he's like orange color too. I mean, it's a perfect place to be. So I left Jelly and Slogo.